Hello, boys and girls. It is lovely to see you all again. Mr. Monkeybottom and I have another catechism question to introduce you to today, and it's question 17. What is idolatry? Last time we talked about sin, and you remember what sin is, don't you? Sin is rejecting or ignoring God and the world that He created, not being or doing what He's required in His law. But there's a special sort of sin called idolatry, and that's what question 17 is all about. What is idolatry? Idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator. What is idolatry? Idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator. Boys and girls, you remember way back we discussed how God made us to love Him and trust Him. And Adam and Eve didn't trust Him. They trusted the snake instead. They trusted themselves instead. And that was sin. Well, we can do the very same thing today. We can trust in created things instead of God. And when we do that, it's idolatry. Because idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator. Think about it this way. Imagine that in your heart there is a throne, a place where the king of your heart is supposed to sit. That king, of course, is God. He's the one who rules over you and cares for you like a father. As we learned with question 1, we belong to Him. He is our King. He made us to depend on Him, to go to Him when we're in need, to listen to His word, to trust in Him, and from Him to get our comfort, our guidance, the peace and the help that our souls need. He is the only one who should sit on the throne of our hearts. Right, Mr. Monkeybottom? But because of sin, we sometimes try to put something else on that throne. We start to put things in that place where only God belongs. Money, possessions, relationships. We begin to look to those things for the comfort and guidance and help that we should be getting from God. We start trusting in things instead of God. And that is idolatry. Idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator. Letting some created thing sit on the throne of our heart, where only God belongs. Now, let me give you a few examples of what that might look like. We sometimes get the idea that if we only had a certain thing, then everything would be wonderful, and we would be happy. For grown-ups, that often happens with something big and expensive, like a car or a house. They begin to think that having this fancy car or having that big house will bring them peace and security and contentment. But that can only come from God ultimately, and looking to houses and cars for peace and security and contentment, well, that's idolatry. It's trusting in created things rather than the Creator. For children, the temptation comes with other things. Toys, maybe, a bicycle, a certain Lego set, a pet, perhaps, or a talking animatronic baby Yoda that follows you around the house and says cute things. It can even happen with a hat. Or bananas. You start to think, that thing is the source of happiness for me. If I had it, everything would be good. And if I don't have it, well, I'll just be miserable forever. That, friends, is a sign of idolatry, trusting in created things rather than the Creator. Idolatry isn't just about things we can possess, though. It can also happen with activities, having screen time, or playing video games or watching movies, or playing sports, maybe. We can start to look to doing a certain thing as the source of peace and happiness and goodness in our lives and trust in that thing instead of God. It can even happen with a person. Having a certain person like you or being around certain people can become the most important thing to you, the thing that you must absolutely have to be content. And when that happens, that is idolatry, trusting in created things rather than the Creator. Any created thing really can become an idol. Anything other than God that we begin to trust in and put on the throne of our heart. Even very good things can be idols. It's important for us to understand, boys and girls, that sin is not just doing bad things. It's also turning good things into the most important things in our lives and giving them the place that only God should have in our hearts. That is idolatry, trusting in created things rather than the Creator. As the Bible says in Romans chapter 1, for although they knew God, they did not honor Him as God or give thanks to Him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie and worshipped and served the creature, rather than the Creator. That's idolatry. Now, repeat after me. Question 17. What is idolatry? Answer. Idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator. Very good, boys and girls. Very good. Very nice. Isn't that excellent, Mr. Monkeybottom? They've done so well. They're learning so much. Fantastic. But that's all for now. Good night, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.